years. So we're really honored that you decided to visit with us today.
Well, I'm really lucky to be around. I'm not getting any younger. How's the picture?
Everything looks great.
Yeah, well, you just went dark. Okay, you're back. I think you're competing with a lot of traffic out there.
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. We have your brown boxes right here. So we have a few questions we'd like to ask you, and then afterwards we'll take some questions from the audience.
Whatever. I'm here.
Can you tell us how and when you came up with the idea of the video game console?
How many hours have you got?
One.
It has to reach back to before World War II. You can go back that far. I was a technician then, serviced radios and television sets, and then the Army got me. After I came out, I went to school on a GI Bill of Rights, became a television engineer. That's how it all started. Even while I was in school still, I was working on studio equipment and transmitters and receivers. And in 1951, I got a job for O'Reilly building a television set. And with another guy, two of us sat in the screen room for about a year, working on a set, building it from scratch. During that time, yeah, we used a piece of test equipment that allowed us to put quick patterns up on the screen and move them around. And it gave me sort of an idea of doing something interactive. I'm sure the word wasn't coined then with a television set. And I suggested we build something like that into a TV set. And you can imagine what management said, you know, the usual. Yeah, you're already late, forget it. That was the end of that. The thought of doing something with a television set other than gawking at it reoccurred in 1966. Somebody come into town and so we were to a client. The idea came back. I made some notes. And the next morning in my office in Nashville, New Hampshire, at Sanders Associates, where I ran a division of engineers, about 500 engineers and techs and others. I made some notes. Those notes, about 4 pages of them. If you want to look at them, go to the Smithsonian website and type in Baer video games, and all that stuff will come up. They have some 500 of my documents. They scan them all. Excuse me. They scanned all those documents. They're all available through their website. Those 4 pages lay out the whole picture. Suggested a whole number of games, 2-player games, single-player games, black and white games, color games, based on very primitive circuitry, which is all we thought we could afford. Think back where the technology was in 1966. In the early days of integrated circuits, we just gone through 4 or 5 years of transistor circuitry, left vacuum tubes behind, and a lot of the stuff I built, even at Sanders, was still vacuum tube hardware. There were no such things as microprocessors. Computers were the size of a house and cost millions of dollars. So what I had to do was I was going to do anything at all to come up with something very primitive and simple. But the idea was to replace watching Channel 3 or 4 or 6 or 7. We're lucky enough to be in a big city, maybe about 3 or 4 channels, with something other than the broadcast fare. So put a guy to work, a technician to work, set in a little room inside, put him in there, and the facility people wire up the bench for us, and run in the top, an RCA, I think it was a 19-inch console set down on the bench, gave him a chair, a desk, a file cabinet, and had him go to the store, buy a plastic rifle, made a light gun on that rifle, put a spot up on the screen and shot at the screen and wiped the spot off, and that's how we got started. And we brought in the director of research and development. He fired at the spot and got pretty good at that, and then he shot at it from the hip, and he got pretty good at that. And he gave me $5,000 of direct labor, and I think $500 or something like that. for direct material. It wasn't exactly princely, although you have to multiply those numbers by about 5. That's what we've done to our dollar in the interim. That's how we got started. Within a matter of a couple of months, we got stuff up on the screen. One spot chasing another spot, wiping it out on contact. The rifle games were in place, and a few other relatively trivial games. We demonstrated that to management, and their reaction was, how do we make money off this stuff? And that was a basic question I couldn't answer at the moment. I didn't know much about commercial hardware, certainly nothing about consumer hardware. I'd been in military electronics for a number of years by that time. So the question was what to do with it. So,
why did Sanders, which is a defense company, allow you to do something like that?
well, as I said, I ran a division of 500 engineers and tech support people, and to put somebody aside and have them do something I wanted done on the QT, didn't even ripple my overhead, so I just did it. Until we finally decided that we need more money. We had to get honest and display it. As it was, the demonstration I did to the president of the company and executive VP for whom I worked happened on a day when the board of directors was in session. So I had to straighten a whole bunch of people, important people. So to make sure that I didn't blow it, I took an audio tape recorder and recorded the introductions to all 7 games we had at the time on a piece of audio tape on an audio cassette. And we built a little FM oscillator at 4.5 megahertz. And I summed the output from that oscillator with a video signal. And when we played the videotape recorder, that allowed the audio signal to come out with a loudspeaker out as I said. Then here we were, 1967, demonstrating basic introductions and another first. You think about it, there's a lot of DNA of what we did in today's games. We had joysticks, we had light guns, we had voice. The voice signals, all of which is still around today. In any event, but now that we've got something that looks like it might be fun, what do we do with it? Ask me a question, what did you do?
What did you do with this idea once you had it?